No. Oh, no, no, no. I do not. I swear to God.
Hey guys, welcome in. Hope you're all doing well. It's Kumi here, and today we are going to be reacting to the second to last episode of Violet Evergarden. This is episode 12. I'm very curious to see what the last two episodes are gonna be like. I mean, up until this point, it's been an absolute emotional roller coaster of so many feelings and experiences and sadness and tears and happiness and more tears, and very interested to see how the series is going to conclude. I've really enjoyed this one so far, so thank you guys for recommending it to me. Anyways, we are going to hop into this in just a moment here, but as always, just a reminder, I do have Patreon. For just $5, you can get early access to the full uncut versions of all of my reactions, as well as some other perks, and it does go quite a long way in terms of supporting me as a creator, so if you're curious, check out the link down below in the video description. And with that being said, let's go ahead and hop on in to episode 12 of Violet Evergarden. Okay, second to last episode. The anti-peace forces. Okay, right from last episode. Oh, okay. Ooh, we probably don't want that. Oh, Navy Captain. Gilbert's brother's Navy Captain. Yeah. Are they traveling by sea or something? I mean, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. Oh, dang. Yeah, I'm curious. What's their plan? Okay. Destroy Garderick. Okay. Yeah, we do not want another war. Like, we just went to war not that long ago. Deep Freed is really interesting. I'm actually kind of excited to maybe get like a Deep Freed episode / detard as Netflix as Netflix calls him. I love the OP, it's so beautiful. Aww. Aw, dude, this pilot is so awesome. I actually love this pilot. He's such a cool dude. Okay, so they're on the ship. I hope nothing bad happens to them. Oh. Okay, got it. That does kind of put a target on our backs, but... You would hope. One would hope, yeah. That would be good. That would be good. That's right, and then we travel to Garderick. Oh, he's like, damn, she's a pretty lady. Hey, do not be talking about my boy Claudia like that. Ooh, I'm actually so excited for this episode. Okay. Don't worry, my girl Violet is coming. Oh no, she is. You may not know it, but she is coming. Yeah, she is. Hey, yeah, no, 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 mm-hmm. Aww. That's so sweet. I love his answer. Yep, she does. Aww. Aww. Love that. I love how they both responded to that. I feel like Catellia, I hope I said her name right. I feel like I
always mess up her name. But I feel like at first she was ready to square up, but I love his name is Benedict, right? I always forget their two names, but I love the way that he answered, you know? Like, yeah, she does have her flaws. You're not wrong about the fact that she has her flaws, but she's trying her best, and that's admirable. And she's come such a long way. And then I like how Catelia sort of jumps in and it's like, yeah, her letters are incredible. And she's saved people with her letters, and she allows people to be true to themselves with her letters. You know, I feel like that's the perfect way to respond to what Dietfried was saying about Violet. Oh. Okay. Intense. I'll never forget that. Humiliation. Oh. Snap. Wait. Okay, was that a scene from when Violet and Gilbert's squad like infiltrated that building? Was that what that was from? And he was like running from the building? Oh, dang. Okay, wow. Destroy transportation between the north and south. Oh, okay. Interesting. To retake Intense. Okay. Okay. Brings peace to the north and south. Then we cannot let that be destroyed. Aww. I sure hope so. Aww. That is so I love this pilot guy. He is so nice. I swear to God, I hope nothing happens to him. I'm gonna be so upset if something happens to him in this episode. Wait, what's that? Oh. We're just burning down a bunch of people's houses? Is that what's happening? Oh. Please, 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 no more war. Aww. I hope she'll be back soon. Aww. I love Hodgins. Ooh, that's not a good sign. I feel like that's them being like, yo, we're watching you, you know? Oh, wow. Oh, that's so cool. Bridge is our connection, man. Bridge is our connection. Okay, yeah, okay, yep. Aw, Gilbert. So that was what I was thinking it was. Yeah, that is not good. Oh. Oh, please be careful, Mr. Pilot. I really don't want anything to happen to the pilot. I'm be so upset. Oh! Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no. Yeah, oh my gosh. I need Violet to be traveling with us because this is really bad. She can probably just jump out the plane, honestly. I think she would be fine. 7 fires since yesterday. Yeah, I wonder if there's a specific purpose for those fires, or if it's literally just to send a message, you know, and to like burn down people's homes, you know. I'm curious if there's like a reason for it, like some sort of tactical reason. I guess we're gonna find out. Yep. I think that is wise. We need her. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Hey, yo, F off her, man. Mm-hmm. Yep. She's very sure. Yep. I understand her hesitations, but I think we need Violet on this. To delay the train, and okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. No. Not at all. Yes. Tell him. Absolutely, you're not. Not anymore. But if the situation calls for it, she will follow orders. Like, I actually love this because she's choosing to of her own will. Like, she doesn't just think that, oh, I have to because I'm a tool. She's choosing to ask for orders. In this case, she doesn't need them. She's her own person now. I also like the focus on her pendant. Yeah, that's not good. And they're actually, as a matter of fact, on our train right now, so that's also not good. Yeah. That would really suck. Ugh. Set back these peace talks. Could we not? Could you guys, like, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we just had peace, you know? Did we make it out, though? Ooh. The bridge, come on, man. Oh, dude, I feel like Violet is gonna protect that bridge so hard because I think it really struck her when she was flying with that pilot and he was like, now that we finally have this railroad built between the North and the South, like, that's so important for my life, and I really hope that peace continues. I feel like that really struck a chord with her. I don't remember his exact words, but it was something to the effect of, like, him just basically saying how important that connection is for him. Oh, no, no, no. Oh my god, are they all on there? Oh, no. Oh, crap. Oh! Oh no, oh no. I don't think anyone's ready for the operation to begin. They're going up on top of the train. Wait, what? Oh, what? Oh! Oh crap, did they just kill, like, the captain of the train? The train driver? Oh, oh jeez. Oh no. Oh no, 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 that is not good. Oh! Oh, shit. Careful. Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to accept her help, okay? That's not true at all. No. Oh, dang. Yup. Oh. She's a human being. I actually really love this dynamic between her and Dietfried because I think, I've said this before, but I think he just does not want to see her as a person. He doesn't want to see it, and that's why he acts the way that he does. Just, like, insisting that she's a tool, insisting that she just wants orders, because that makes it so much easier for him to hate her. And I think a lot of his hatred probably stems from the loss of Gilbert, because Gilbert, I mean, I don't think Gilbert was gonna make it out of there, but he might have some resentment over the fact that Gilbert, like, died to protect her, you know? Like, again, I think he probably would have died anyway, but they said that he, like, pushed her down the stairs, right? So he might hold some resentment over that, like, Gilbert's last action was to save her. And it might be easier for him to process his grief if he just, like, channels it into hating Violet and not seeing her as a human being. Yeah, oh yes. Yeah, she's back, bitch. Aww. He did not die in disgrace, as a matter of fact. No, he did not. That is not true at all, as a matter of fact. Violet mourned it, and his family mourned it. Oh, careful. There's like dudes on top, right? Can you get behind them? Can we get the flank angle? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe Violet can keep him distracted while... Okay, nice. Yo, good job. Good job. Mm-hmm. Then you should probably know not to fuck with her. She's not gonna let you do that. She is not the same as you. Unfortunately, I just don't think that's the response. I can understand being upset about that, but this is not the way. More violence is definitely not the answer. Nice. I love the look of, like, determination in her eyes here, too. She's locked in, but she's absolutely not gonna kill anybody. She's not gonna let anybody die. Not by her hands anymore. Oh, please, please! Oh! It's a little bit more difficult to take on all of these people when you're trying not to- Oh! No! Oh, no, no, no. Do not. I swear to God. Yeah, this is really tough to do without killing them, I will say. That's like one of her most important possessions. As a matter of fact. Okay, good job. No, 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 no. Not the pendant, please. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank goodness. I like how Violet's been up here trying so hard not to kill anybody, and Deepfried just rocks up and is like murdering everybody. Yep. Exactly, I think that's where so much of his anger comes from. Yup. She's not a battle doll anymore. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh man, this is so interesting. And I think that another reason why he wants to see Violet as a tool is because not only is it easier to like blame her if he doesn't see her as a human being, but it's also easier to blame her in the sense that like if she's a tool, if she's a battle doll, then she should have been able to save Gilbert. So how could she not have been able to save Gilbert if she's like supposed to be this tool and this weapon? I think is another element of why he feels the way that he feels and why he's so angry at her specifically. If he sees her as human, then he has to acknowledge that like she's not perfect and that she isn't capable of doing the impossible, you know? Like he's kind of asking the impossible of her right now, like how could you not protect Gilbert? But all of that is just his grief talking, you know? It's really interesting from a psychological and emotional perspective. Mm-hmm. But he told me to live, so I won't die. Yup. Yup. She loved him. Mm-hmm. She wanted to protect him too, so much. She loved him. Oh, dang! And she will protect you too. I guess the metal arms kind of came in handy. Does he even realize that she has metal arms? That she went through all of that to try to save Gilbert? I wonder if he even knows. Does he even know that she's got, like, metal freaking arms now? because of how much she did to try to save Gilbert. Like I said, psychologically, what's going on in Dietfried's head is really interesting. So interesting. It's like he has not left the anger stage of grief. I'm so proud of Violet, though. I feel like I'm having a bit of like a post-episode emotional response, though. I'm just so proud of her for being able to stand her ground and just be like, no, I'm not a tool. And the contrast between him telling her to die and her saying, no, I'm gonna live. Dang. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was actually such a good episode. I really liked this episode a lot because I've kind of been wanting to have a Dietfried episode where we just get more insight into him as a character. And I feel like, I mean, this episode said so much about why he acts the way that he does towards Violet. I already kind of like figured that this was the case, but I feel like this is the first time that we've gotten actual insight and like more dialogue from him. So I really appreciate this episode. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about it. So first things first, kind of cool to learn that Dietfried is a Navy captain. And I also thought this whole conversation was interesting as well. So we have this line like, and now that the Army Special Forces have disbanded, was this part of like Gilbert and Violet's unit? I don't remember like what specifically their unit was. Were they part of the Army Special Forces? I don't know if they were just part of like the regular army. I'm assuming they were part of the Army Special Forces because one, Dietfried has like somewhat of a reaction. It's very subtle, but he has like a subtle reaction to this line. And two, it seems like they were the ones sort of doing the like more covert missions, you know, like when they had to infiltrate that building. And then there was also the scene where they were kind of like sneaking through the water and then Violet just like went ham on everybody. But I'm assuming that they probably were the Army Special Forces and maybe that's why he has like a very subtle reaction to this. Will be shorthanded in an emergency. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. And Dietfried's response is interesting too. Like, with Gilbert gone, you want to push the trouble on his older brother instead, huh? And I mean, that's a pretty gutsy thing to say in front of all these people, but I like that he just says it. Because, I mean, interestingly enough, like, in the same way that, like, Gilbert really wanted to protect Violet and see Violet live a happy life, I think Dietfried wanted the same for Gilbert, you know? Like, it seems like Dietfried really, really loved Gilbert a lot. I mean, again, I think that's where so much of his anger comes from, is because he loved Gilbert so much and he feels so much grief at the loss of Gilbert. So I think that's actually kind of an interesting, I guess, sort of parallel between Dietfried and Gilbert, like the same thing that Gilbert wanted for Violet, I think Dietfried probably wanted for Gilbert. Like, I think he's very sad that he didn't get to see Gilbert, like, live his life, you know? And I think another element of this is I feel like Dietfried is a little bit kind of pissed off because I think he feels like they used Gilbert as a tool. You know, like this sentence right here, like, okay, well, now that Gilbert's gone, you want to push the trouble on his older brother instead, huh? It gives me the impression that he feels like Gilbert was sort of used as a tool, which is also interesting because obviously so many people saw Violet as a tool. So I don't know. For me, this section is very loaded. Like, there's a lot here, even though it's just like a pretty simple sentence. And even the way he says like peace, huh, right here, I feel like there's also so much to that, you know? I feel like there's an element of like, yeah, peace is great and all, but like, I haven't had any peace since Gilbert died. Gilbert doesn't get to experience this peace. So yeah, peace, great, but it's too late for that for me because I'm always going to miss Gilbert, you know? That's how I take it, at least, like just with the way that he says it, like the fact that he emphasizes this word, peace, huh? Just very interesting. I will say Dietfried is a fascinating character, and he's actually grown on me a bit. Like, I don't like that he's such an asshole to Violet, but in terms of his mental state and the psychology behind why Dietfried acts the way that he does, like that to me is fascinating. So as a character, because of those reasons, because he's so complex, he's actually grown on me a lot. And I also like this scene because I feel like it almost like kind of emphasizes just how much Dietfried is still in this state of grief. Like, anytime Gilbert is mentioned or even just like alluded to, he has a reaction. Like Violet's major, they're subtle reactions, but he reacts like every time. Mm-hmm. And this whole exchange is also just really fascinating. And it's so interesting that he feels the need to say things about Violet, like even when she's not there. The signing ceremony is a success. Yep. Are you the only civilian doll? Like, he does not want Violet here because I think he feels like Violet shouldn't be allowed to partake in something that's meant to represent peace. Yeah. In any case, is she still working as a doll? Like, he's so mad, he's so upset about it, that sorry excuse for a human being. And once again, I think this comes from him feeling like she should have saved him, she should have saved Gilbert. Like, how dare she not save Gilbert? Like, how could Gilbert sacrifice himself for her, for someone who's just a tool? You know, I think that's how he sees it. And yeah, I like how she's like, I will square up for my girl Violet, but I like his answer here. But she's trying her best, and I love that the people around her acknowledge her efforts and see her, you know? She's doing her best. Yup. Exactly. It's sort of like forcing him to see her as a bit more human, you know? Like, all of this humanizes her. She writes wonderful letters right into a person's heart. Yeah. Like, I love that they defended her in the way that they did, you know? I just think that that was perfect. And then that was a really cool transition from the bird to the plane. I liked that. That was really neat. And yeah, this was interesting to see that someone who's tied to Violet's past is right here. I'll never forget that humiliation. So yeah, this is when they took over that building. And then yeah, okay, this is the part that I was thinking of where this pilot says this railroad allows food and resources to enter my country. It brings peace to the north and south. Like, I love that. I feel like that just makes Violet want to protect this even more. And I like how she repeats the word peace, you know? And it's interesting because, like, earlier, Dietfried also repeated the word peace, but they have different tones, you know? In this instance, I feel like this is something that Violet wants because she's come to understand people so well. Like, she wants peace for these people, like for this guy who's flying this plane right now. Like, that's something that is so important for just his everyday life. And I feel like she's able to understand that now. Like, yeah, we won't have to fight anymore. I'll be busy with all the extra work coming in. I love what he says. I might get to deliver one of your letters again. Like, oh, this guy is so sweet. I love this guy. He's awesome. Yeah. And then once again, we have an exchange between Violet and Dietfried. Mm-hmm. Yup. Of the Garderic army, she sure did. And it's also so interesting to see these like close-ups of his face because it's like in so many ways he's so similar to Gilbert. I mean, obviously their eyes aren't like the same color green, but it's like I see so much of Gilbert in him. And I will say, like, I do appreciate the fact that he's able to put things aside in order to get the job done, you know, like he doesn't refuse her help in this instance. Like, he does want to know what she knows. I appreciate that he doesn't like completely reject it, you know. And I also really like this part right here, like, you should get off this train too. And she's like, but I can help if there's danger ahead. Please give me your orders. And here it's kind of more like a respect thing. Like, he is the captain here, so she's like, give me your orders, but she's asking for that because she wants to ask for that, because she wants to make sure that she can keep everybody safe. She's not asking for that because she needs them or because she sees herself as a tool. And I love this contrast. You know, I like that we get to see her asking for orders again, but in this case, it's like a completely different context, you know? You're still a tool who can only follow orders. Like, I love that she says, no, I'm not. I'm not a tool anymore. Not anymore. Like, I love that she defends herself, and I love the focus on her pendant here. Like, I love the focus on him looking at her pendant. And once again, just like looking at that pendant probably reminds him of Gilbert as well, and we have a reaction to the pendant, too. Get out of my sight. Like, I think, yeah, she just reminds him of his grief. And I mean, part of grief, like part of the stages of grief include like anger and bargaining. And I feel like, you know, placing blame on others is sort of like a manifestation of those two things, you know, like it's kind of somewhere between anger and bargaining. And I feel like that's just where he is. I feel like he has just been perma stuck in anger and bargaining, somewhere in between those two things. And once again, in this scene, he once again is like, oh, you only want orders. It's like he's trying to convince himself, you know? You only want orders. And she's like, no. If I ordered you to slaughter the enemy, you wouldn't hesitate to kill them, right? And I like how she's like, no, I'm not gonna kill anymore. I will not kill anyone. I do not need a weapon, and I'm not going to be a weapon either. Not only do I not need one, I'm not going to be one. And, if you're not a tool, then what are you? Like, again, so fascinating. If you're not a tool, then what are you? Because he doesn't want to see her as a human being. That's not something that he is ready to acknowledge. And I feel like there's maybe also some frustration on Dietfried's part that, like, Violet has moved forward with her life, but I feel like Dietfried is still stuck in his grief. You know, it feels like he hasn't moved forward. Like, he's been stuck in this like anger and bargaining phase since Gilbert died, I'm guessing, you know? And I think there's maybe also a sense of anger that like Violet is getting to live her life, but Gilbert isn't. So it's like, if you're not a tool, if you've moved on from being a tool, then what even are you? Because it's like not fair for you to have a purpose, I think is kind of how he sees it. And then I love, I mean, again, like she stood by her word. Like, even in this dire situation, it's like she basically decides, like, I would rather die than kill anybody else. Like, I'm done with that. I don't want any more violence, you know? But also, this is kind of interesting. It does give a little bit more insight into, like, why they feel the way that they do. But I still think they're very much wrong for, like, starting a war over this. Or, like, trying to start a war over this. Like, in order to get back the people and things you've taken from us. I'm curious what he means by, like, the people and things you've taken from us. Like, do they have people as prisoners, maybe, perhaps? On starting another war. And this part is interesting. Like, do you think the war is over? Like, I think it's like violence is so ingrained in us is like another thing that he kind of says here. You and I, we both have the memories of violence burned into us like scars. What a fascinating line. And I love how she thinks about these moments because, yeah, she has those scars, but she feels so differently now than she did back then. And she's seen how much damage this violence can cause to other people, you know, like the way she thinks back to Aiden's crying family. I'm sure she probably also has moments of like, I did that to other people's families, so no, I'm never gonna do that again. And I'm not gonna let it continue. The war has ended, but it's like for these people, it hasn't. We fought dreaming for the war to end, waiting for the glory that was promised to both the living and the dead, and I guess they don't feel like that was honored. What happened in reality? Our leaders do whatever they're told by the South. So I guess he is upset that it feels like the South is sort of in control, and he doesn't feel like that promise of glory, I guess, was properly honored. And I think there's also the element of just like he said, like there's violence burned into my flesh now from this war. So it's like, I can understand his perspective, but I still think that these people are like very much in the wrong for starting a war, or like trying to start a war again over this. The soldiers who risked their lives to protect the people were scorned. And had stones cast against them. Again, I can understand his anger and his frustration, but this is just not the way. This is not the way. Like, more violence is not going to fix the problem. We were betrayed and abandoned by everything, is what he says. And I think he probably feels that way, again, because he doesn't feel like he got what he was promised out of the war. And I guess he feels like they chose peace too easily. Then what's wrong with wanting to destroy everything? This is the part where I'm like, okay, like, yeah, that is wrong. Like, yeah, no, that's not right. Like, you being upset with how the war ended is valid. Like, you can't help how you feel, you know? If you're upset because you don't feel like the war ended in the way that you wanted it to end, like, okay, fair enough. But wanting to destroy everything is certainly not the answer. It's not the answer. It's not going to solve anything. It's not going to fix everything. It's not going to bring your comrades back. Like, this is very much not the way, you know? And I love this moment where she grabs the pendant, you know, like clutches it to her chest, you know, because obviously the pendant is representative of Gilbert, you know, so it's almost like she's saying, like, Gilbert, I don't want to kill anyone anymore. Like, I understand what you wanted for me. Like, you didn't want me to be this killing machine, and so I'm not gonna be that. Like, I love that little detail of her clutching that pendant. And then, you know, obviously we see her doing everything she can to make sure that nobody dies. And even here, it's like, she's like, I'd rather this happen to me. I'd rather be here, like, taking blows than killing these people, you know? And even here, it's like she sees that pendant and she thinks of Gilbert. She thinks of his eyes. Aww. Like, there's so much emotion contained within that pendant. And she's okay with it. She's like, yeah, I'll die. I think there's probably a moment where she's like, Gilbert, I'm coming to meet you. You know, like, in this moment, it's probably like, we'll see each other again shortly here. But then, of course, Dietfried comes. And he don't give an F. He's kicking ass and taking names right now. And once again, this, like, infuriates him. What are you doing, you know? Because how dare she be a person who doesn't want to kill now? You know, how dare she move forward with her life? Like, oh, it's this... The emotion here is so fascinating. You can't even protect yourself, so how do you expect to do this without killing? My brother Gil gave his life to protect someone like you. And as this scene unfolds, we see more of Dietfried's real emotions. Like, we get more insight into this. Like, he gave his life to protect you. I do not want to kill anymore. Yup, I like what she says too. The Major's orders were to live. They were not to kill. He told me to live. And that's what I'm doing. What use is a battle doll that will no longer kill? And it's like, she's not a battle doll anymore. She's just a doll. I feel like this, though, is the crux of it. Like, this, I think, really gets down to Dietfried's emotions and, like, why he feels the way that he feels. And I feel like this is probably the most emotion we've seen out of Dietfried. Like, he is just so stuck in his grief. He feels like, what are you even good for? You know? This is why you weren't able to protect Gilbert. Like, I don't know if he realizes how hard she fought to protect Gilbert. And I'm really curious if he's gonna realize that next episode when he sees, like, her metal arms, you know? And yeah, I think he feels like you killed Gil, like, he feels like she got Gilbert killed because he gave his life to protect her. So from his perspective, it probably feels like it's so unfair that she gets to move on with her life and live her life, but Gilbert's life was cut short, you know? And that's why you should die too, but that's not what Gilbert wanted. Just die. And I think he thinks, like, that that'll make him feel better somehow. But it won't. It absolutely won't. But yeah, the fact that he tells her to die, I think, just reinforces the idea that he feels like it's so unfair that Gilbert is dead because he tried to protect Violet, you know? Like, I think it's like, why would Gilbert protect a tool, you know? And it's so much easier for me to hate you if I see you as a tool. So I have to see you as a tool, because otherwise, how do I process my own grief? The Major ordered me, and I like that she stands up for herself. I like how she literally stands up, too. Like, she literally stands up to stand up for herself. Like, he told me to live, and that is what I'm gonna do. Like, and she's like, do you think I didn't want to protect him? I wanted to protect him. Like, of course I did. I loved him. I wanted to protect him too. Like, I love that I like, honestly, Violet, like, stand on business. I love that she's like, you think I didn't want to protect him too? Like, I wanted to protect him. I wanted to protect him too. I loved him. Like, he was her whole world. But yeah, I'm really curious how this is all going to play out, because she jumps in front to protect Dietfried, and I feel like that's probably, I mean, yeah, he was not expecting that. Like, she really is true to her word. She doesn't want anyone to die. Like, not only does she not want Dietfried to shoot the other guy, she obviously doesn't want the other guy to shoot Dietfried. And, I mean, thank goodness we have metal arms in this situation, but also, like, I wonder what he's gonna think when he sees that she has these. Like, do you realize what she did to try to protect that man? She lost her arms for that. She was trying to pull him out with her teeth. Like, I'm really curious how he's going to react to that. Because I do feel like Dietfried has kind of misunderstood Violet a lot throughout the series. Like, I really think that he feels like she didn't care that much about Gilbert's death, you know? I think he feels like, as well, like, oh, she's just a battle doll. She's just a tool. So she probably doesn't even have any emotions towards Gilbert's death, you know? She probably doesn't even feel anything about it. So, like, why the heck would he even bother saving her, you know? And the fact that Violet does have so much emotion right now just, like, completely shatters his worldview, you know? But yeah, I don't know if Dietfried realizes just how much Violet cared about Gilbert, just how much she absolutely loved and adored him, just how much he was, like, her whole entire world, you know? And I feel like he's maybe gonna realize that in the next episode, and I'm super curious to see what his reaction is going to be like. But yeah, I actually really liked this episode. I thought it was very good. It's kind of a departure from a lot of what we've seen thus far in Violet Evergarden. Like, there's no letter writing in this episode. It's emotional, but, like, maybe not with the exact same emotional weight as some of the other episodes that we've had prior to this, at least for me personally. I did get a little bit emotional, like, when I was watching the ED. It just kind of, like, hit me, because I'm so proud of Violet for standing up for herself and being true to herself, and for feeling, like, confident enough to state plainly that no, she is in fact not a tool anymore. No, she's not going to kill. And I feel like there's almost an understanding on Violet's part of Dietfried's emotions, you know? Like, she just kind of takes it, like, she lets him just yell at her to die. And then she calmly responds, no, Gilbert told me to live. I feel like she probably sees almost a bit of herself in Dietfried, like when in that episode when she was just going through it and she was like, she screamed and then she tried to choke herself. I feel like there's a part of Violet that maybe understands these intense emotions that Dietfried is displaying. So yeah, bit different from what we've seen in the series so far, but I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was great to get some insight into Dietfried. I kind of figured that was why he felt the way that he felt, because he looked really shocked in that episode where like Violet went to confirm that Gilbert was dead, and he realized that she didn't know that he was dead, And then I think in that episode, I think he also said like something to the effect of like called her a tool again, and that episode gave me the impression that like he's doing that because he doesn't want to see her as a person. But this episode gives even more context, and so I really enjoyed this one. Anyways, I think that is all I have to say, but don't forget to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the reaction, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye! Alrighty, and as always, it is time for our legend tier shoutouts. So, shout out to Abel Dark Rider, Savior of Nern, Gabriel Weiss, Ramune Ram, Ryan, Mikhail Mazareth, and Jet Cox. Thank you all so much for being absolute freaking legends. I really do appreciate ya. And on to the rest of the shoutouts.